Okay, so we're putting in a 3-stacker sliding door into this opening, and this is from Superhouse, imported from China. Very sleek looking doors. So we're just doing the assembly process. It comes with a sub-sill, and the bottom track slots into that. Now we're just going to bed this sub-sill into our opening. We've rebated the concrete just so we get a flush finish with the tiles through the door opening. So this is the start process. I've levelled across there, put some packers down. I'm going to mix up some structural grout and place that in between and sort of bed it down. These blocks are set to level, so it won't go lower than those points, and that'll be our reference point. We've also just got to make sure it's level going out this way as well, so we're gonna that's why we're using the bedding to adjust that, and maybe have to pop in another screw just to level it up. But anyway, I'll pop back shortly. Okay guys, we're back. We've just laid down the structural grout. You want to make it so it stands up a little bit, so it catches the bottom of the, and squeezes out. Probably don't overload it because it will get trapped in there, especially when you're using a rebate like we are. We'll just cut out a bit out of the back here, but so we're ready to drop the track in and then screw it off. I'll get back to you when we get to that. Okay guys, we've screwed off the track. Seemed to go in nicely. I did, I think I hit some reinforcing steel, so a few holes there which I'll actually silicon up, because that is a tray that catches water that comes through the track above. So yeah, we'll fill those up with a bit of Superflex. But yeah, that all went in nicely, and we just need to probably pack a bit at the front, a little bit here and there, and I'll probably Superflex the back as well, just to lock it in so there's no movement. But yeah, I'll come back when we are assembling the frame, which is ready to go. Okay guys, the track's all in. I Superflexed that up just to lock it in a bit better. I actually packed a bit more grout up underneath the bottom lip of this sub-sill as well. Just starting to put this frame together, well, halfway through. So there's screws that are supplied with the kit. They're pre-drilled. I did look at where the fur lining goes, but I think the holes don't line up anyway if you get them around the wrong way. But that's the opening sash, which is on the outside. So this is the outside, and then the furry bit on the other side is the fixed panel with the 2 panels slide back past, and there's the screws that are supplied. There is some self-adhesive that you just peel off, but it all seems to lock in and line up pretty good. So although in saying that, I might have to turn this top track around because the holes aren't lining up. Okay, cheers. I'll touch base when I'm putting the timber reveals on. Okay, we've got some snap-on sides and bottoms and tops that go on the aluminium frame. I've laid all these out, which they do go a certain way, but it's pretty obvious. So I'm just going to pop those in, sit up in there, and they just snap in. It's pretty easy. Peel off this plastic first. Or after maybe. Anyway, I'll tap those in and get back to you. So I'm just tapping that in. So it just fits in. It clips in there. The snap clip. Did notice up the end here, it was just slightly out. I don't think the bottom's in actually. I might have to just prise that out. But anyway, that's the thing. Okay, we're just laying out these timber reveals. Now these are the side ones that come with it. They're pre-cut. Now the side ones go up past the top one. The top one slots in there. Now there is a fit on that outside snap-on. That's what our timber reveal sits on. This gives us our 50mm reveal, which is what we were after. Well, I think that's the minimum we can get, because we've widened the frame to get a flush finish inside and also a 40mm reveal outside where our weatherboards will butt into. So we've actually made a 140 frame, which is worked out for the 3-door sliding stacker. So to put these on, I did speak to the manufacturers actually, and they normally just put a T-nail or something through there, but because we're fixing off to a timber frame, I'm thinking I'm going to put some screws in here with probably some no more nails in there as well, just to really lock it together. So when we screw it to the frame, which we'll probably screw it every 300 or something, and just to give it the strength that we're actually transferring from the timber into the frame. So yeah, so we'll get that done and hopefully we'll be slotting her in place shortly. Thanks. Okay, so we're just putting a little bit of liquid nails on the side of the aluminium. And we'll just run a bead down on the fin as well. We might even back screw through that fin into the reveal as well. And we've cut our timber reveal a bit smaller because we've got to actually drop down into the rebate of the concrete over there, because we've rebated to get a flush finish with the door set. But so it's pretty straightforward. We'll just sit them on there, line them up with this one. Nice and flush there. And because we've got the snap-on, and we've got a little cavity in there. I'm just using a 25mm panhead screw and a 3mm drill bit just to get it in there already. The apprentice already had one ready to go, eh? And we're just doing those of every sort of 300. Pushing down at the same time onto the fin, just so we're consistent. Just wire shot, mate. Panheads seems to be working quite well, and will be flush when we slide it into the frame. We built this frame even before it was shipped from China, I think, so it is a bit tight, so we haven't got a lot of room. So I didn't want anything clashing as we slide the door in. Anyway, that's how that one's done. Okay, we've just put the timber reveals on and stood it up. I did notice when just screwing to that snap-on, it was still moving, so make sure you tack off the head to the side, or tack the side to the head. We'll put some PVA in there as well. And I'm probably just going to put some screws in the reveals here as well, in the fin. And that should lock her in nicely, but yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, so I actually cut my timber reveals a bit shorter, just to allow for the rebate in the concrete. But we're looking all good, and hopefully we'll have it tacked in place shortly. Right guys, we managed to get the frame in, no real dramas at all. It was a pretty straightforward process. We did notice that the fin on the sides, we did need to nip that off at the bottom to allow it to sit down into the subsill. So we sorted that out. Basically the frame, you get it on the outside, sit it into the bottom track at the front, make sure it's nice and aligned, and then just roll it back in, and then pop it down into the actual subsill, and it worked fine. I mean, one thing you will have to do is just make sure your alignment on the subsill's right to suit the timber reveal, because that obviously is your flush finish. We managed to get that spot on. So we raced around. I just raced around and tacked it off with the finishing gun to start with, but these are quite big, heavy doors, so I think screw fixing is obviously needed. Now we've gone about 400 apart there and across to the top. What I did for the top, I mean, I just cut a piece of timber that was right for the height on the sides, went through into the middle, and just popped it off to that and made sure each fixing point was that. So when the doors go in, it's all parallel and there's not going to be any snags anywhere. I mean, we just fix it off with window packers, screw it off. What I thought of too when I came outside, I noticed there was just a little bit of movement in this, so I put a screw through here. Now that will be covered because your fixed panels here, fixed panels on the inside, the opening door is on the outside. It's the outside, but these actually go in, which will hide that fixing as well. So they're another snap-in setup. It's a bit tight, but we'll get that in when we're ready to fit that off. So all I did here was round this side, I just filled that gap up with a bit of 20mm timber and some packers there. Now, I have got some flashings made up. I mean, this is to suit, we set the frame up, so I knew I had 40mm on the outside of this frame. We're putting linear board on the walls here, so the 40mm is good that we can butt straight into that. So I did get some flashings, so there's the head flashing there. I got these bent up. Actually, I got them done before the window even got here, but so it's all seemed to work out pretty well, but that we'll put a bit of bead of silicone on the back of this, slide it up against the window, tack it off here, and our weatherboards will butt into that, and we've got a weatherproof seal. Yeah, so pretty happy. Obviously we won't be fitting the doors yet, but I might do another video when we do that. But it is a lot of working out as you go, and I hope this video helps you guys. Okay.